What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Thrifty back with Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews. Today we're going to be discussing Helldivers 2 and kind of what I think has led to such success. So, this is coming off the heels of an article that quotes Bloomberg saying that more than likely Helldivers 2 has sold around 8 million copies right now, which is a huge, massive success. And I really want to kind of dive into why I think the game has been a success, why I still see people shopping for it, why it's still out and not available anywhere that's close to me physically. Sure, you can get it off of Amazon, but I can't find it at my local Target, Walmart, Best Buy, even GameStop didn't have any. So why is that though? It's a simple shooter, right? It's a simple co-op shooter. So why is it having such massive success? Let's explore. So last year, we came off the heels of several games that did microtransactions wrong. Diablo 4 being one of the biggest culprits of that. And so we have that. We have the bad news that happened with Overwatch last year as well. And then you have EA doing their Ultimate Team stuff with all of the sports franchises. And everything has just turned into microtransaction city when you talk about online co-op multiplayer. If it's online co-op multiplayer, it has to have microtransactions. And I know you're probably sitting there going, well, Helldivers has microtransactions. And so, yes, I'm going to be clear, sure, they do. But the thing you really get with them is the battle pass, is the war bond. And it takes 1,000 to do so. 1,000 is $10. $10 gets you that war bond. So they're not aggressive with the microtransactions because I've played I've played 7 or 6 missions in there. And I already have 230. So I think if I put, 10 hours in, I'm going to end up averaging about 100 super credits per hour, which is actually really good. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're having such success. Even though they have microtransactions, you don't need to do anything except buy the base game. And then you'll earn super credits as you go, and with those super credits you can then purchase the war bond, which then gets you access to all the things. So I think that's one way. They weren't overly aggressive with the microtransactions. The other thing is there's no PvP. You don't have to deal with tryhards. You don't have to deal with people who are just sweaty and in their basements doing nothing but having their headphones hooked up and playing this game like you do in Call of Duty. This is a game that really wants the community to be against the game, not the community against each other. And so that's really cool. They gave us a game master named Joel who's been making all the decisions to kind of go against. They constantly drop in new orders and new missions and just things that you can do to earn extra super credits or to earn extra medals. They've given us somebody to go against that's not each other. And so what does that do? Well, people get unified when they have one common goal that they don't like or one common thing that's causing adversity. People usually band together and can focus all their energy against that. And so that's inviting because you're like, oh man, I can get on and play with these players and I don't have to worry about them going nuts on me because we're all here to do the same thing. And so it's really inviting to people, especially like me, who doesn't like multiplayer games, doesn't like games as a service to be more precise. And so when you see that, I'm like, okay, cool. I love co-op. I think co-op is great. And so you have the co-op aspect. You have the fact that they gave us that singular targeted focus, not targetable, that's not a word, but they gave us that single target focus to focus on the game manager, to focus on the community manager. And I thought that was sheer and utter genius. Here's the other thing. that I think is one of the reasons why this game is doing so well, but also why I think it's going to continue to have legs. I feel like it's going to be in the top 10 for at least another month or two of sales. And here's why. I bought the game 5 or 4 weeks after launch. I think 4 weeks. With that, though, I was kind of nervous getting into a game that other people have been playing for almost a month or a little over, and I was really nervous about getting into the game. Well, I got on and I played with Will777JP, and I played with RPG88, and I think I played with Toolman as well. These are some of the guys who stopped by the live stream and who have been here kind of since day one. Will's actually the co-host, so like we were on and playing. And then we had another person jump on. Hero jumped on, and we ran a couple missions again, and then I played with Jez, and this whole time these folks are 25, 30 levels ahead of me. And I'm like, man, it's just going to be getting carried, and it's super boring just to get carried, but you kind of, if you want to progress a little faster, you need to. And I'm telling you guys, there were matches that I had the same amount of kills as everybody else. There were matches where I died just as much as everybody else, or killed my teammates just as much. Like, I didn't feel like just because they were a higher level that they were necessarily just stomping a mud hole in everything that I was doing. So it was really a great experience being a brand new player and not feeling so massively far behind. Now, did they have cooler stratagems, which are the things that you can like call down from your ship to like the big explosions and the supply help and all that? Yeah, absolutely. But just sheer gunplay and killing, no, it didn't have a big huge gap in it. Sure, if there were some big enemies that came out, could their guns kind of do more impactful damage? Absolutely. But I never felt like I was totally far behind or just a third wheel. And that made it fun. Also, that brings me to my last point about just fun factor. The game is not overcomplicated. The hardest part about the game is getting used to the controls because they're a little different than your typical shooter. But outside of that, the game is not complicated. The inventory system, the upgrade systems, the way you earn medals and earn rewards and earn super credits, like none of it is super terribly hard to understand. Which, as somebody who doesn't play a lot of games as a service and doesn't play a lot of online multiplayer games, that is a huge thing that can bring people into this, because they are expecting a Destiny or a Final Fantasy XIV that, man, once you get into there and once you do the first couple missions, the world opens up and you are sitting there looking at 17 different things that can be done, 10 different menus, and 5 different quest lines that you can take, all of which have to be done to get the whole story, at least in Final Fantasy XIV. And so, like, it's daunting. And this doesn't have that. This doesn't have that daunting, oh my gosh, I've missed everything, look how much stuff there is. And it doesn't look like that they're going to be doing much of that stuff anyways. Like, I was on Will's ship, or I was on Jez's ship actually, and he was showing me all the stuff that over time you can upgrade for your ship. And I thought that was really cool because it's like your ship grows with you as you become a better player. And so it's, guys, I'm telling you, they hit this thing out of the park for a reason. It's super great for new folks to multiplayer games or games as a service. It's a great game for them. But it's also a great game for your veterans because it feels more rewarding than almost any other live service game out there. It feels like when you play for 45 minutes to an hour and a half a night, you've got something to show for it at the end. And it costs $10 for super credits. That's enough to get you the war bond without you lifting a finger. So, like, there are several things that this game has going for it. And I think that's why it's hit a reported or a speculated 8 million in sales. And I think this game, like I said, has massive legs. It's gonna be there for a couple more months in the top 10. I don't think we're gonna see a lot of huge discounts on it. If you want to wait for a discount, I think with how friendly the game is to new players, I think you'll be fine to do so. If you want to catch the wave right now, I think $40 for the game is an absolute steal. And so, guys, this has been Thrifty with Thrifty PS Gamer Reviews. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below, tell me what your favorite part of Helldivers is, and as always, stay thrifty.